You're listening to the Chronicles of Gooner, the Arsenal podcast.
I'm Martin Tyler, and you're listening to Harry Symeou.
Hello and welcome back to the Chronicles of Gooner, the Arsenal podcast, brought to you by 90 Min. As ever, I'm your host, Harry Symeou, and we are back. I am delighted to be joined tonight by a celebrity guest. Yes, he is a celebrity in the Arsenal world. He's a good friend as well, more importantly. Welcome back to the channel, Lee Judges. How you doing, sir?
What a lovely intro. Yeah, thank you very much, Harry. Yeah, I'm all good. I'm slightly better today than I was over the weekend, but a little bit of good transfer activity, and I always like linking up with you and having a chat with you because you talk sense. So I'm all right. I'm all good. I'm all good. Sometimes when you don't go on that bunny checker, but most times you're all right.
They say time is a healer. I think that's probably why you're feeling a little bit better than you were.
Yeah, a little bit better.
Brilliant stuff. There's plenty of comments about me hitting the live button a couple of minutes late. We were here, but we got carried away chatting, and that's what happens. Lost track of time. And there you go. But we're here now, and we've got plenty to talk about. Earlier today, we heard that Arsenal were edging closer to the Martin Ødegaard deal. We then heard later in the day that he's been at London Colney, completed his media duties, and an announcement on the signing of the Norwegian on a permanent deal is imminent. Since then, we've heard that Aaron Ramsdale is very close to joining the club as well. Arsenal looking to make a couple of signings ahead of the big game against Chelsea on Sunday. Now, on tonight's show, we're going to be talking about the signing of Odegaard. We're going to be talking about Ramsdale. We're going to be talking about Mikel Arteta. And we're going to be looking ahead to that Chelsea game as well. Lee, first of all, your thoughts on the Odegaard deal? Because there's been a lot of Arsenal fans out there who have been pleased with it, me included. I think it's a good bit of business. And there are others who are not sure necessarily that Odegaard is the man we need to go up to that next level. What's your view on the signing?
Well, first of all, I've even heard people turning around and saying that 30 million is too much for him. I don't really, I think like 30 million is a snip, really. If you look at it, if we're going to pay the same for the goalkeeper, I think it's a good deal. Listen, I think he's a very good player, Odegaard, and I'm going to be honest with you. He come into a season, and when we had the COVID sort of stuff, so all the restrictions were put on him, so he couldn't really go out and whatever. So he was in difficult circumstances that he come in. The team was in a mess at that moment in time, if I'll be honest, when he did come in. And I think that he hit the ground running, if I'll be honest. Nothing spectacular, but done really, really well. And I think a lot of people, what they don't remember about him, I thought he was brilliant up until he got the ankle injury. Do you remember you got that injury against when he was on playing for Norway, wasn't it? He was never quite the same when he come back from that. But up until then, he was really, really good and playing really well. So I think it's a good signing. If I'll be honest, we need more in that midfield area. I'm going to be really honest. So, but ultimately, I think Arsenal, whether they waited for that one or not, I don't know, Harry. Or sometimes I think people actually do say, then sometimes it falls in your lap a little bit, and I think that one did. I think that they probably thought he was going to die, and then all of a sudden, like Real Madrid weren't going to put him in the squad. Once they didn't put him in the squad, Harry, that was it. That was it. So and I think that patient. We had to be a little bit patient with it. Probably got it. I would say before if we'd have gone in early on the transfer window, 40 million. So I think we saved ourselves 10 million by just holding back a little bit. Ultimately, I think he's a very, very good player. Is he going to take us to the promised land? No, because we need more in there. But what I want to see from Arsenal now, Harry, is that they've been looking at getting the talk about Maddison for 65, 70 million, right? Okay. What if Arsenal are serious now, they go and get another midfield player, like whether it be Auba or something, and then you've got Ødegaard and Auba, all of a sudden, that's a pretty good bit of business come midfield areas wise. With Lokonga as well. I think that if we could get another midfield player in a box-to-box number 8, I think then I'll be very, very pleased with the midfield overall, you know. Then you've got like Partey, I'm going to say a while, and Ødegaard as a free. Granit Xhaka coming in and different games and things like that. And then that's a proper midfield to go on and challenge for the top 4. I really do believe that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that the fact that we have seemingly got Martin Ødegaard for a lot less than maybe we thought we were going to have to pay, or the fact that we were considering making a move for Maddison, maybe gives Arsenal a little bit of leeway to say, yes, we do need another midfielder. Now we can go and do that, or at least explore that possibility between now and the end of the window. I think a lot of people have been frustrated by the timing of some of these deals, the fact that the season has started and we're still busy. But I don't know about you, Lee. I was quite certain actually that this was going to be the case, that the season would start and our business wouldn't have been concluded, because that's just the way transfer windows normally go, right?
Yeah, I think they do. I think listen, I'm a little bit old school, and I'm not gonna lie about that. I'm you sort of grown up on the fact that even when I was playing, you know, you get your signings will be in before pre-season starts, and then like, you know, you go from there. Football's changed in every area, Harry, and unfortunately, like, transfer windows have changed as well. And the fact of the matter is, the transfer window doesn't close to the 31st. Unfortunately for Arsenal, and it's happened on 2 or 3 occasions now, the transfer window shuts when we've got really, really difficult games. You know, like other teams can maybe, you know, like just for instance, if we got, you know, like Brentford's never an easy game. Let's be honest, away from home, that was not easy. But then we've got Manchester City and
Chelsea.
And of course Chelsea. But just imagine if we got like Crystal Palace, Leeds, and I don't know, chuck another one in the middle there, Burnley.
There
just
you
know what I mean, like good old Burnley. And you think like we could negotiate those games, still get the 9 points, for instance, and then be doing the business. I think everybody would be a little bit happier. But because we've got like Chelsea and Man City, I think everybody's like, well, we've got to get things done before then. Like, you know, listen, there's no easy game in the Premier League. I know that. I'm just sort of saying, like, but you know, Chelsea and Manchester City in the first 2 without the transfer window shut is a tough ask. The European champions and the champions of the league. So it is a little bit tough for us. But you know, I honestly and I still believe, and I have said this all along, that Arsenal will be a completely different team now till they are on the 1st of September. And Arsenal's shown a little bit of ambition, Harry. You know, you can't. You know, people are criticising the owners and all that. They're spending the money. They're putting money up. If you can spend 30 million on Odegaard, you know, 50 million on Ben White through this pandemic, you was one that said, "Oh, Arsenal wouldn't spend a lot of money." If I remember rightly, they're proving us all wrong, really. If for you know, £30 million for a goalkeeper, you know, it tells me that they're prepared to spend money. So it is really now on Arteta and Edu to get the deals over the line, and let's hopefully see a different Arsenal, because let's be frank about it, we need it, Harry. We need a different Arsenal. 100%. Yeah,
we do, and you're right. I was worried about Arsenal and what they might spend this summer, because I worried all along about the struggle to offload a lot of those players that we talked about leaving. And I think that part has come true, where we've not been able to move on some of those players. But credit to the club, because they have found a way of financing deals before really making any significant sales. They've sold Joe Willock, and other than that, you know, we still got Hector Bellerin at the club, Alexander Lacazette, nothing's happening there. Other players that were linked with moves away, Maitland-Niles, you know, a couple of others, Eddie Nketiah, all still at the football club as well. So, I mean, we've spent money badly in the past. So just because we've spent it doesn't mean that we're going to move forward. But you've got to take encouragement from the fact that the club are forking out for new players and trying to improve Mikel Arteta's squad. Let me just take this super chat from, where is it? Here we go, from Wayne. We mentioned Symeou there, talking about potential further midfield additions. Wayne says, don't want Aouba. Janino called him out on his attitude. Don't need that. There's a reason no one's in for him at 20 million. There have been a few reports on Aouba's attitude over the last few days. I read something from Juninho as well, sort of in the last 24 hours or so. Maybe that's a concern. Don't know. But we're just talking in terms of bringing in another midfield player. I don't know if you agree, Lee, but I'm not dead set on it being Symeou.
No, listen, the only reason I'm saying Auba is because Arsenal chased for him all last summer. So why they wouldn't want to go in for him this summer, I don't understand that. And part of me wants us to go and get Auba, because then it looks like, we've got a proper strategy where we went for him last season, didn't get him, and we went and got him this season. When it comes to bad attitude, it's not going to stop Harry Kane going for 120 odd million.
True.
Listen, these players, they have to do something, and what they do is, it's like Harry Kane at this moment in time, and it could actually be that Harry Kane now thinks to himself, right, okay, I'll show you now by just training, just turning up for training, just putting in a bit of a train, and then when I go on the field, not showing a good attitude, and all of a sudden my fee's going to drop down, and I'll stay here for the next 2 or 3 years and just not be the Harry Kane that I've been for the last 3. I'm not saying that he will, but that could happen. And Auba can look at himself and he may be thinking to himself, well, hold on a minute, you outpriced me out of a move last season, so I'm going to be that, but before all the transfer speculation, I watched him in the Champions League and he was outstanding, one of the best midfield players, particularly against, and I'll go in the game against Manchester City, he was fantastic. And, if we get someone like that, or of that ilk, being a box-to-box player, particularly at home, Harry, not so much away, away from home, we could probably go with, Xhaka and Partey as a holding two, and maybe like Ødegaard in then. But when we're at home, when teams are putting in blocks of 4 and 5, we're going to need someone to break the lines, go past players, run from deep. That could be the man or someone of that ilk to go in there along with the likes of Ødegaard. Because I still feel that, I don't know how you feel about this, I don't think Arteta trusts Pepe. I really don't think that he does. And I actually see Saka playing on one side and Smith-Rowe playing on the other. That's what I actually do see, or Martinelli or someone like that. And I feel that with Pepe, his performance the other night did worry me, I have to say.
Yeah, he blows hot and cold, doesn't he, Nicolas Pepe? And for the most part of the latter stages of last season, he blew hot, and everybody was like, yeah, Nicolas Pepe is going to kick on. I'm not going to come to the conclusion that he isn't going to do that based on one game, but I do agree with you. I do think that Mikel Arteta quite likes the idea of putting Emile Smith-Rowe on either side. And I think actually Emile Smith-Rowe pleasantly surprised a lot of people in how comfortable he looks doing that role and drifting in field. I think he looks pretty good, especially from the left, where he'd then be essentially creating space for Kieran Tierney to get forward, because I think we've seen we've seen Aubameyang, we've seen Martinelli as well sometimes play that role and not necessarily be that comfortable coming in field. I don't know. I think Emile Smith-Rowe carries the ball better than those two guys, and therefore he can come in field, and he's a little bit more intricate in his play. And sometimes, that can work in your favor. Lee, just before we move on, just a couple of quick bits of housekeeping, because there's over 600 of you watching us live right now. So if you haven't done so already, hit the like button. What are you waiting for? Subscribe to the channel if you're new. But more importantly, make sure you go over and subscribe to Lee Judges TV. Lee, give the channel a little bit of a plug. Tell people what it is you guys are doing, because it's kicked off brilliantly. Really enjoy watching this stuff. Where can they find it?
We've kicked off really well, and we're doing different things on it, Harry. It's not just Arsenal stuff. It is a little bit of Arsenal stuff, but we're doing silly little things when we're going out doing things with, like, me and Dan went on a photo shoot this week. I know what you're thinking, you know what I mean, about doing the modelling, but Dan was all right. He was all right. He was okay, So we've done that. We're doing different sort of things. We've got a brilliant, that Kevin's doing his own show on there as well, Kevin Campbell. So we obviously the Kevin Campbell show's come back on the channel, which is great, on my channel. And we're just doing different things, going in the studio. We've done one with you, which was little light-hearted things and things like that. And it's starting to pick up. And you know what it's like, Harry, when you do something new and people start watching you, everything like that. you feel quite proud, don't you? Like, and it's going well at the moment, and hopefully get bigger and bigger. And yeah, thanks for giving me the opportunity to give it a little plug.
No, of course, don't be silly. Looking forward to seeing the Calvin Klein shoot with yourself and Dan. But let's move on to some more transfer talk. We've touched on the Ødegaard stuff. Aaron Ramsdale was very, very close to joining the club as well. Another one that's been met with mixed reaction. I'm not a massive fan of Aaron Ramsdale.
No.
I said that to me the deal didn't make sense. Can't understand it. Can't get my head around it. Clearly, Arsenal see him as a long-term replacement for Bernd Leno. Otherwise, you wouldn't spend that kind of money on him. What's your take on this? It's a weird one for me.
Do you know what it tells me? It really does tell me that Martinez was easier to sell. Like, you know, because probably are low on wages and whatever. Like, you know, I don't really know. I look at it and maybe, like, I'm going to be honest, that Ramsdale looks at it and thinks that maybe he wants to, I don't know, challenge Leno for it could be number 2 and whatever, and he feels that, you know, he can do that. Because I thought Matt Ryan was a great goalkeeper for us, but I don't think Matt Ryan was happy to be a number 2. I think he wanted to be a number 1. I think with this Ramsdale one, I think that they may be saying to him, look, start off a number 2 and, you know, see how it goes. Because I do feel that Leno needs pushing, and I really do, because I'm not convinced, Dan. I'm not Harry. I'm not convinced that he's the man. I really don't. But I think he's a very, very good goalkeeper. But I think if he was pushed, it may make him a better goalkeeper. Do you know what I mean? But to gamble 30 million on that, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. And when I've watched Mr. Ramsdale, he has made some real clangers, you know what I mean? Good shot stopper, makes a good, but decision making doesn't seem to be his strongest point. And listen, it could be different when you're at Arsenal, when you're not probably you know, being smashed out every 2 minutes like he has been at Sheffield United and Bournemouth in the last 2 seasons. So I see. Do you know what? I'm going to be honest. The goalkeeping, you know, hopefully the goalkeeping recruitment team ain't the same one that recruited Ranison, because that would worry me. I'm a little bit worried about who's actually making these decisions for goalkeepers. And I'll be honest, I look at the decision with the Martinez one first, because I felt that was wrong. I do really think that was wrong, because I'll tell you why I think that was wrong, Harry, is that when Leno got injured against Brighton, I was devastated. I thought, oh no, we're going to end up like in real trouble. The boy come in and took his chance. He took it, you know what I mean, right? And that's all you're waiting for in football, is a chance. And he was given the chance and he took it. And I felt, you know, we won the FA Cup with him. We won the Charity Shield with him. And I didn't think it was the right decision, but for whatever reason. But that decision was made. And now I look on it, we sold Martinez a proper international now, because he's gone on and, you know, now the number 1 spot for Argentina, hasn't he?
Won the Copa America with Leo Messi as well.
So, you know, proper goalkeeper now. You can't argue that. And makes mistakes at Villa. Let's be honest. I've seen a few mistakes that he's made, but ultimately, good goalkeeper. Now we've gone and spent more money to get another goalkeeper. The one thing that, you know, that I think with Ramsdale, he's young. And I remember when he started making his debut for Bournemouth, I think he was only about 17, 18. People were going, he's the real deal and everything like that, you know. So he's only young in terms of a goalkeeper. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there, like, you know. But 30 million for a goalkeeper of his ilk is a lot of money, I think, Harry. And I'm not so sure it's the right decision, but
time will tell.
Time will tell, but I tell you what it does say, if Arsenal prepare to spend 30 million on a goalkeeper, they've got money.
Yeah, true. I guess I put a tweet out just before we went live saying, I don't really agree with it. It's not a signing that I would have made. It's not one that gets me off of my seat. But while he's got that cannon on his chest, we have to get behind him. And now, you know, we have to show him the love. We have to welcome him with open arms. And hopefully he proves those of us that were unsure about it wrong. You know, that's all he can do, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and do you know what? That's a great point you just made there. no signing yet has got me excited. They're good signings. Ben White's a good, solid signing. Lokonga looks a good, solid signing. Ødegaard's good, solid signing. Ramsdale. I want, I know a lot of people are putting in the chat like Calvin Lewin. If we actually got Calvin Lewin, I think that would be exciting. Something like that. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if Arsenal can do it. But listen, guys, if everybody's putting 30 million down for Ramsdale, I think they could go big for a striker. I really do. Whatever striker that'd be, I don't know. But maybe there is something in that, with Lacazette going, maybe Aubameyang and bringing in someone like Calvin Lewin. That would be a real statement as well. I like that sort of start. I like that sort of signing, taking it away from one of the teams in and around you in the Premier League and saying, look, we're the Arsenal, we're taking your best player. I like this. I like that. We haven't done it for a very, very long time. No, we took Sanchez from Barcelona when really he wasn't really in the team. We took, even though he was fantastic for us, we took Ozil when he was not on the periphery of it, wasn't it? We've now it'll be really nice, real statement of intent if we took someone's top player. Yeah.
Completely agree. Let's go back over to the live chat. Big thank you to Bill for your very kind donation. He says, evenings, guys. Just talking about the players moving out. He says, I believe a lot of our sales or loan outs will be done on deadline day. Plus, with the board back in Arteta, it means he isn't going anywhere. That moves us on nicely to the Mikel Arteta thing, because I know you've been quite disappointed in Mikel Arteta at various points in his managerial tenure so far. Obviously, the jury's out on him this season. There's no question about that. Where are you at in terms of the Mikel Arteta debate? Would you pull the trigger on him now? Would you give him a bit longer? Because I'm very much of the opinion that if you didn't sack him after Villarreal, then you might as well give him a bit more time to see if he can turn things around. Because otherwise, what'd you give him the whole summer for?
I'm with you on that. I've lost my patience with Mikel Arteta. I'll be honest. Too many things going on, and I'll tell you why. Listen, I don't care who you are, what Arsenal fan you are. Everybody wanted it to work with Mikel Arteta, whether you agreed with it or not. We all wanted it to work, and I see signs, but I try to get him out of my head, try to back him and whatever. But I did see things where, he's very, very fortunate to survive up until Christmas last year, Harry. I don't think he would have if the fans were there. I'll be honest. I don't think he would have. I think it would have turned at the Emirates long before then. But ultimately, he'd done it and he started to turn things around. But I'm going into this summer now and in this transfer window and also the pre-season to go to Brentford and not be ready. And I mean not in terms just of the transfer window. The team was a shambles of a performance, and also the Aubameyang Lacazette thing is not the first time this has come out. Players not being content, and I have to say this, Harry. I'm going to be really honest. I know you're a big fan of Granit Xhaka. I'm not got nothing against Granit Xhaka. I want to go to Rome. I like Rome as a city, everything like that. And all of a sudden, he's back in the team again, And I just feel with Mikel Arteta, he's got 4 right backs, at the club, and he keeps swapping and changing. It doesn't seem to be a positive decision there. And I'm going to say this now: the football is not only we're not winning games, it's boring. It is really, really boring, and I don't want to be spending my money watching that. I really don't, And a lot of people turn around and go, and I'll be honest, a lot of people are saying, I want to keep Mikel because I don't want to go through another manager and everything like that. Well, just look at them down the road. They was in total disarray, more than us, if I'll be honest. And he's come in, breath of fresh air, changed a few things around, and they look a little. I know they've only won one game, but even against us, they looked more organised and that. And I just see us we're going from one car crash to another, and. People turn around and say, he's not experienced no more. And I think to myself, well, hold on a minute. He's had 18 months now. And I get that he's had the COVID and all that, but, playing a false nine in a semi-final, like, you know, and really costing us in that game, I think, through his tactics and everything like that. And not being able to break teams down has been a big worry. So, and that's the reasons why. And I think that at the end of the day, if you know, listen, I would. If he loses against Chelsea and then was to lose against West Brom, I can't see him surviving. If you know, like, to go out in the League Cup before all the big guns are there, that would be, for me, the end. You know what I mean? And I would bite the bullet then. And listen, can I just say something else? People go, oh well, it's only 2 games into the season. Arsenal sacked Bruce Rioch, or was it Bruce Rioch? I can't remember now. I think it was like.
Before my time, man. I'll leave that one to you.
Yeah, I think it was Bruce Rioch. Like, I mean, a week before the season started, Pat Rice went in charge. Correct me if I'm wrong there. It could have. I think it was Bruce Rioch. With a week before, you know, so they'd done all the pre-season. We was going into the first game and they sacked him, and Pat Rice came in. Of course, Arsene Wenger came in the September. So did that put us in disarray? Did it hell, like, you know? So for me, I'm not worried when it is. You know, I think that I don't want to go into, and I'll be honest, Harry, I don't want to be doom and gloom. I'm going into the Chelsea game, like, you know, not expecting us to win. And I as an Arsenal fan that's paying a hell of a lot of money for my season ticket week in, week out, I don't expect to go to the Emirates not winning games.
Yeah, you don't want to go to the Emirates almost conceding games before they've even kicked off. That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, and I feel that I am.
Yeah. I mean, in years gone by, we went to the Emirates and we felt like we could beat anyone. Like, even when we weren't challenging for the Premier League title, you still felt that on our day,
always. We
could go and win.
Yeah, you know, never ever thought that we'd lose at the Emirates. You know what I mean? And you know, when we did, I was disappointed. Don't get me wrong, but we played Man United a couple of years ago. Do you remember when we outplayed them and the goalkeeper made save after save, and we ended up losing 3-1? But ultimately, we give it a good go. And but I was disappointed. Of course you are. But I go into all those games now that we're going to win. And you know, we go into games when we play Manchester City every time expecting not to win. And you know, I look at it and I think, well, hold on a minute, I shouldn't be feeling like that. But ultimately, I am. Liverpool come to town. I expect them to win. And do you know what? When Arsenal were at their very, very best, you know, we didn't go to Liverpool and blow them away. Never once. It was always tough games. You know what I mean? We might get the win, but it was always, we never blow them away 4 or 5, like, you know, like some of the teams have done that to us. You know, so I don't want to see that. You know what I mean? So please, hopefully, Mikel can sort it out, because you know, you still, if he does, then Arsenal win games of football. You know, and we still want Arsenal to win, don't we?
Absolutely. Guys, there's over 1,000 of you watching us live right now on YouTube. So if you haven't already, hit the like button. There's no excuse why we can't get to at least 300-400 likes. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to Lee Judges TV as well. If you click in the description, you can click on the tag. I've put it there, Lee Judges TV. Click on it. It will take you to the channel and you can subscribe over there as well. Just a quick reminder as well that this podcast is brought to you by manscaped.com. So for all your male grooming needs, head over to the website, enter our discount code, which is 90min20, and you'll get yourself 20% off as well as free shipping. So you stand to save yourself a fair chunk of money. Trust me, your partner will be thanking you if you get one of those. Can't beat a Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0. The judge will tell you.
Yeah,
the judge will tell you.
Yeah, brilliant.
Brilliant stuff. Right, looking ahead a little bit to that Chelsea game, we talked about kind of going into it and feeling worried and feeling like we don't really stand much chance of winning it. I've been thinking about this, and I'm going to do a preview on it a little bit later on in the week, so I don't want to give too much away. But in my mind, Judge, the right thing to do is to set up with a back three, and to take on Chelsea and kind of match up their system and do what served us well in big games previously under Mikel Arteta. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I said that. I can't remember what show I said it on, but I said I think that he'd go with a back three. I think that he should do that. So I think Holding probably come in for this one, Mari, and then Ben White as a free. I will go with that. I would. You know, we are missing Gabriel, of course we are, but ultimately I think that let's match them up and go down that route. And we can do that against the big teams. Why not? You know, I'm not bothered if Arsenal go there and a tactical game and we win 1-0. And it ain't the greatest game in the world, like, but we get it tactically right, and then you can turn around and go, "Oh, I see something there from the manager." Like, you know, look at how we tactically set up and we got the result. So I don't see it, but I'll tell you what, though, I think that with these couple of signings, I think that gives us a little bit more of a boost. I will say that. I do think there'd be a little bit more feel-good factor. I know people in the chat are not happy with Ramsdale, like, you know, I get that. But the Ødegaard one is a positive. Come on, let's be positive about that one.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got to be. I mean, as you said before, he came in, he had a really good start to his Arsenal career. And you've got to remember as well, when Martin Ødegaard came in, he hadn't played football up until that point in that entire season, up to January. And he got himself up to speed really, really quickly, didn't he? For someone who'd come to a 100%. New league, new club, was probably not match fit. But I thought he made a really good impression and gave a good account of himself in that period of time that he spent on loan with the club. We talked about that injury, how it derailed him a little bit, but I think for the most part, he was impressive. And I think at 35 million pounds, it's a steal. We mentioned the lineup against Chelsea. We've heard that Aubameyang and Lacazette are doubtful for it. Now, the more I think about this, the more I'm starting to think that maybe this is COVID related. Initially, it was like, hold on, what the hell is this? These two guys have all of a sudden got ill and they've been dropped. And then those reports started coming out, didn't they? Saying that there was a falling out, that there was a disagreement. And that kind of made sense to me at the time. But prior to that, post that, we started to see stories about COVID issues at Arsenal, about members of staff testing positive for the virus, and that the game against Brentford was actually under threat in the lead up to it. Is there a possibility that Lacazette and Aubameyang have been hit by COVID, and that's why they're not going to be available because of that isolation period? Am I thinking too outside of the box here?
Why don't come out and say it? I don't see why it's a secret. I really don't. You know what I mean? Like, if they've got COVID, like, tell us it. Like, you know, I think was it Harrogate? I think I said this the other day. Harrogate in the championship, or the league, championship league. They got games called off because they've got an outbreak of it. So I don't really see any, you know, why we want to keep it secret, if I'll be honest, you know. So I just don't know with this one, Harry. This is the trouble with Arsenal, you know what I mean? You got the chairman turns around and says, we're going to be honest about this and that and everything. And then all of a sudden there's this like big screen about, you know, illness. And if you've got an illness, I don't know if you've got a cold or you've got the flu or something, like what says, you know, we definitely won't be playing next week. Well, you don't know. You could recover in 2 or 3 days. Who knows? You know what I mean? So, you know, what sort of illness is it that they've both got it as well, like, you know? So I don't really know, Harry. I can't really explain this one. I can't.
Because there's people in the chat saying that if it was COVID, the club have to announce it. Well, I don't think they do. I think they have to tell the people that are at risk. But I don't think the club have to actually come out and say, this person and that person's got COVID. Do you remember when the pre-season tour was cancelled? Nobody said that who it was that had COVID, did they? That information stayed in-house. All we knew was that some players had tested positive. But it just seems to me like for them to have an illness, supposedly, and COVID is an illness, so we've got that part. For them to have an illness that means you can already say they're doubtful 8 days in advance, given the current climate, that feels like the most sensible kind of explanation.
It does, but then when Gabriel got it, they turned around and told us it. So why the skullduggery now? You know what I mean? When Gabriel got it, you know, and he struggled for a few weeks afterwards, didn't you? So, but then again, you know, I think didn't Aubameyang have malaria and they kept that a little bit quiet for a while. Harry, I don't know. I really don't know on this one. It just seems very, very strange that they've not mentioned it in any shape or form and for what it can be. And if it, listen, What I don't see what the big secret is. If they've got COVID, like, you know, fair enough. And I think that would be a little bit more sympathetic to the plight. And then you don't get all this rumour mill stuff, do you? Do you know what I mean?
No, I agree. If it were me, I'd say it. But remember, like you just mentioned there, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang didn't want people to know he had malaria. We didn't know what was up with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang when he took some time away because his mother was unwell until a little bit further down the line. So could we have a situation where those players do not want that getting out because they're within their rights to say to the club, I don't want you to say that? I don't know.
I don't know. If you got COVID, would you tell people or not? I don't know. I don't know. It's not something to be embarrassed about, is it? It's not like you know, like a sexual disease or something that you've got, is it? Like, you know what I mean? You've just got COVID, you know what I mean? So I don't think it would be something that I would be ashamed of, would you? I don't know, Harry.
I wouldn't, but
no, nor would I. I think, you know, I've got COVID. I've got to stay in and isolate. Everybody, you know, I mean, there's lots of people who are getting it. So I don't really understand it. I really don't. I don't know why you'd want to keep it quiet. If that is the reason, and then put all this other stuff on top of you when you're under enough pressure as a manager as it is. But if the players saying they don't want to know it, know that they've got it, I don't know. I just don't know. Doesn't give no rhyme or reason why this is like that. Really, I can't answer it.
Yeah, no, me neither. And it's just a theory. It's just a thought that was going through my mind. We're talking about players being ruled out a week in advance. We know that Aubameyang in particular has got a history of not wanting those kind of things to get out. Were Arsenal fearful of getting games called off? Were the league fearful of calling that Brentford game off? And that's why we didn't hear about that scare until afterwards. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. But anyway, get your questions in the live chat for the last 10 minutes or so. We'll take as many of your questions as we possibly can. Get them in for the judge and I'll throw them at him. Put a little cue at the beginning so that I can pick them out from the chat as easy as possible. Don't forget to check out Manscaped in the meantime. Get your Lawnmower 4.0 ordered. I'm telling you, it's the one. Let's go over.
He's quality.
It is quality. It is. Yeah, I've got to say, I've been like secretly like flogging them off to all my mates. Like I've been telling them all, get one, use the discount, get one. You won't regret it. And I've heard some positive reviews.
No, it's brilliant. I'd say it's the best thing going, like, yeah, best thing going.
All right, let's move on. Some silly questions in there that I'm not gonna entertain. Like, what's up with Arteta's hair? I actually think if you get to Arteta's age and you got hair like that, you gotta be proud. So
embrace it.
He's a good-looking lad, Mikel Arteta, whether you like his management or not. Let's take this one from Hussein. He says, Lee, who's your dream manager? So I'm assuming he's talking about current managers. If you could take anyone in world football right now at the Arsenal, who would it be?
Do you know what? I would have loved to have had Allegri. I really, you know, what he done at Juventus. I went to the Champions League final, watched them against Real Madrid. I know they lost it, but it went toe to toe with Real Madrid, who were really unbelievable at that time. So I would like to go there. A realistic person for me would be Brendan Rodgers. I really like what he's doing at Leicester and the way he coaches and gets the team going. Or a young Arsene Wenger.
A young Arsene Wenger. There you go. This one from Zebedee, one of our members. He says, with Odegaard in, how do we line up against Chelsea? Now, I hate doing these things in my head, trying to like work out the team on paper in my head. So I'm going to bring up the tactical board and we can name our 11 together, actually. I think that would be good. Hold on a second. Let me share the screen for those of you watching us on YouTube. Where are we? Here we go. Share that screen so you guys can see. Don't worry if you're listening via the audio. We'll explain it as best as we can. So, in goal, assuming Ramsdale gets over the line in time, would you throw him straight in?
No. Leno for me.
Leno in goal. So we go with Burn Leno in between the sticks. What is this huge, giant Google ad that is across the bottom of this page? It's ridiculous. Leno, there we go. So would you go with a back three then?
Yeah, I would do in this game. Yes, I would. So it would be Murray, White, and Holding, or Chambers. Who would you go for there?
Oh, this is a tough one. Tough one. I think I'd go Ben White on the right-hand side of that three, because I think that's where he played best for Brighton during his time there. I think in the middle, I'd probably look at putting... Oh, no, but then... This is a tough one.
I'd probably go with... Because if Lukaku plays, his Holding is more probably physical. But I'm going to go Chambers, because Chambers played well... done okay up until Friday. He's entitled to one bad game, I suppose.
So you'd play Chambers as part of the back three?
Yeah.
Would you play him in the middle, or would you play him on the right, though, of that? I don't know if I'd play him in the middle.
Someone's putting it up there. You could put Tierney in there as well. You know what I mean? So
that's what I would do. I would leave Chambers out if it were me. I'd play Pablo Mari in the central position.
Yeah, and Tierney on the left.
And Tierney on the left.
I'm going to go with you on that night, yeah.
And the reason Pablo Mari's lack of pace probably doesn't get exposed as much in that back three as well. And then you can go with Tierney at left centre back. The wing backs, then I think I'd go with Nuno Tavares in the side with Tierney playing there. I think he's physically very good. I think he could give us something.
Yeah.
So we'll go with Tavares there. Right wing back.
Difficult one, this one.
I'm going to throw Ainsley Maitland-Niles into the ring. Would you do it?
I wouldn't argue that, but this could be Bellerin's time to play as a wing back. Are we thinking what we do or what Mikel Arteta would do?
What would we do?
Niles in there.
I would put Maitland-Niles in there.
Yeah,
I just think if Bellerin doesn't want to be here, I don't see the use in using him.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people say Mikel's devaluing him by not playing him, but for me, if he's not part of the future moving forward, why the hell is he involved? So that's what I would go with. Centre of midfield, then I'm assuming we're going to go with two players in there.
Yeah.
Given fitness right now, it's an easy one, isn't it? Xhaka Lokonga?
Xhaka Lokonga. Yeah, I'm going to go with that.
Lokonga there, and we'll go with Xhaka alongside him. Number 10 position?
Ødegaard. Well, I'm going to go with it. Why not? Let's go for it.
Let's do it. Martin Ødegaard. And then are you saying Smith Rowe from the left?
Smith Rowe.
Remember,
I'm going to say it now. I'm going to go Smith Rowe, Saka, and Pepe as a one up top.
We can't. We've only got 11 players though. This is where this formation throws me off a little bit because it's a 3-4. We've only got two players left.
I will go Smith Rowe and. Do you know what? I'm going to change one. I'll put Saka in as a wing back.
Okay.
Right, and Tavares on the other side.
Okay. So Saka left wing back.
Yeah, we've got to get Saka in the team. We've got to get Saka in the team.
Tavares there.
Yeah, and then I put. I love Martinelli, but I think he needs a rest really. If I'll be honest, after that Olympics thing. So Pepe and.
So you're gonna go Pepe, and do you leave Smith Rowe out? I'll probably play Smith Rowe. I think I'd play him.
Smith Rowe, yeah, play Pepe and Smith Rowe.
I'd play Pepe and Smith Rowe like that.
Yeah, and not use Pepe as a false nine, as a proper, because he has played up front for Lewin. He played up front for them.
Yeah, and the issue you would have with that front three, or looking at the two behind Pepe, is you'd say that neither Smith Rowe or Odegaard will give you much width, but playing with the wing backs gives you that width to accommodate it.
Yeah.
So that's our team, that's our team for the game against Chelsea. So Leno in goal, back three of Tierney, Murray, and White, Tavares right wing back, Saka left wing back, Xhaka and Lokonga in the middle, with Odegaard and Smith Rowe in behind Nicola Pepe. So that will be our team. Interesting stuff. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna screenshot this and see if my mind changes between now and
the only
game.
one I would change, like maybe if you would actually, if you want to get say like Martinelli, and you would take Ødegaard out. But I'm just thinking with Martinelli, you could. I don't know with that Olympics thing whether you do need a break after that. It was the only thing, but I like Martinelli, so if I'd actually get him in if I could, like, you know what I mean. So maybe just leave Ødegaard on the bench for this one, bring in Martinelli.
Yeah, that's an option. The other thing I would maybe do is put Maitland-Niles or Bellerin in for Tavares. I'm not. I know people say he can play on the right. I'm just not sure.
Yeah, as well. I think you've got to get Saka in this team, though.
Yep, agreed. Cool. Let's take some more of your questions just quickly. And there's over 1,400 of you watching us live right now. Let's get those likes up to 500. Come on. That should be easy. We're on 3, 2, 1 at the moment. Why not hit that like button? Doesn't cost you a thing. And if you'd like to become a member of the channel, you can do so by clicking on the link in the description or clicking on the join button below. Gunning you down says, I guarantee Lee's lineup is better than what Arteta is going to play. Plenty of faith in the manager there.
He'll probably play a back four, so we don't know. Like, you know what I mean? But I want to see something from Arteta that makes me think, even if they lose, do you know what? There was something in it.
Yeah. No,
do you know what I mean? Like, like some positive in the way his lineup is and his tactics and everything. I want to get back on side with Mikel Arteta. I do. I really do. You know what I mean? He's lost me at the moment, but he can win me back. And I want him to win me back.
Yeah, don't we all? Toros says, hopefully Odegaard is vaccinated. He is double vaccinated.
Yes, he is. I heard that today, yeah.
Yep, so he will be able to walk basically straight into the squad, which is great news. Sam, one of our members, says, how many more players do you think we will sign and what position? So I'm assuming you're talking about other than Ødegaard and Ramsdale. Of course, those deals have not been confirmed yet at the time of recording. Other than that, I think we might get one more, but I'm not sure. I think we might look at adding to that midfield. People talk about right back, but with 4 at the club, I can't see us doing that.
I think we need 2 more. If Arsenal are going to compete this season, we need 2 more. We need another midfield player, box-to-box midfield player, and we need a forward. I think we need to change up. We need to freshen that forward line-up, change it. And if it means losing Aubameyang or it leads losing that Lacazette, I think that we've got to do it, like, you know.
Gary Mullen says, Lee, would you rather stay with Arteta or bring back Wenger?
Oh, that's well, it's not an option, really, is it? Like, you know,
stop copping out of it. What would you choose?
I'd bring back Wenger. I really would. Like, you know what I mean? I bet I'm at this moment. You know what I mean? People have said in the chat that I'm a flip flop. I'm not a flip flop. You know what I mean? At this moment in time, I've lost faith in Mikel Arteta. I don't think there's anything wrong in losing faith in the manager. I have done that. You know what I mean? Like, I lost faith in Arsene Wenger a lot later than a lot of people in it, but I did lose faith in him in the end, and I've lost faith in Mikel, and it's because of what he's been doing. So for me, I wouldn't bring back Arsene Wenger, but I would definitely bring in somebody else. Sam
says, you guys, are you guys concerned that Arteta keeps isolating players? Wonder what the squad morale is like after the Ozil Guendouzi situation. Now Maitland-Niles, Bellerin, Torreira, Xhaka, and maybe an Aubameyang saga. I do think that's something that Mikel needs to work on. I think his man management is lacking a little bit at times, and he can come across as a bit arrogant, can't he?
100%. I think it does. You know what I mean? I think that, you know, you can bring in Saliba in that one. Like, you know, I think that's been handled particularly poorly, because if you're going to play back threes and back fours and whatever, I think, you know, when you look at players like Holding and you look at players like Chambers, if I'll be honest, well, I'd like to see Saliba playing, given the opportunity in front, because I've seen what these guys can do. I don't really get that one. I don't really get what's happened with Guendouzi, but, like, you know, but Lukonga's come in now, so you know, football moves on, doesn't it? So, but I do worry about his man management, you know, and it isn't very nice. I don't think Torreira, if I'll be honest, has done anything wrong as a footballer. You know, does he deserve to be like left out completely? And I don't agree with what went on last season with leaving players out of squads and things like that. I think they should have done things to make sure that they got them a football club. So I don't agree with that. So you know, it's difficult with a lot of with the way the management goes now. But I think you've got to look after your players, whether you want them at your club or not. and make sure you, if they're not in your plans, then make sure you get them in somebody else's plans.
Yeah, I agree with that. It can't be good as a professional footballer. It must make you feel terrible. It must really knock you if you've been playing at the top level for a number of years and a new manager, rookie manager at that, comes in and says, you're not part of my squad even. And Socrates has spoken quite a bit about that, actually, because he's obviously back in Greece now, playing with Olympiacos. And I saw an interview with him on Greek TV a little while ago where he mentioned that it was a really difficult period for someone who'd been playing all the time wherever he was. And
good attitude. He wasn't good enough, but he had a good attitude. You know what I mean? So I think they should have sorted things. You don't do that, So that would worry me a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, we are going to leave it there. What a chat. It's been brilliant. Lee, thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate it.
I loved it, always good chatting.
Always good stuff. And thank you again for coming on. Make sure you subscribe to Lee's channel. As I said, you can find it in the description. Just click on the Lee Judges TV tag and it will take you straight there. Give him a subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you guys all very soon on our next bit of Arsenal content. Couple more videos and podcasts coming your way tomorrow. Make sure those notifications are turned on. And if you haven't hit the like button already on your way out, make sure you do. I'll catch you all very soon. Until next time, take care.
You're listening to the Chronicles of Gooner, the Arsenal podcast.
I'm Martin Tyler, and you're listening